We're going to talk about the God of rest today, the God of rest. And I've more affectionately titled today's talk, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Have you ever noticed the power of desire? For most people, desire is a number one motivator, and it happens even from an early age. I still remember the day my life changed forever. There are many of those days that change your life forever, but the day that probably changed my schedule, my priorities, my budgeting, my spending, my concerns, and my fears was, of course, the day that our first son, Caden, was born. No amount of books or parenting classes will prepare you for this one thing, and that is the amount of crying that your baby will do. You know, it's very cute at first when it first begins. They come out crying, and it's very cute and subtle until their lungs begin to develop, but they cry a lot, and they keep crying a lot. And there's no off switch. You can't turn the volume down. You can't change the pitch. You can't hand them to someone else. You are it. No help is coming. Before we had kids, I thought babies cry because they're sad. But you know what? That's not true. Usually they cry because they're mad. It's true. Why are they so angry? Babies are angry because they have a desire that you are either preventing them from getting, or you are not helping them to accomplish or get said desire. And so they cry to alert you that they need your help, or you need to help them, or to stop keeping them from getting their desire. And we know desires can be a good thing, but it becomes a bad thing even as adults when desire is no longer under our control, but begins to control us. The basic question for us to consider is, do I steer my desires, or are my desires driving me? So many of us are driven by desire. If we don't get what we wanted in the past, the resulting emotion is often we're sad. We're sad because we didn't get the job that we wanted, the relationship that we wanted, or whatever didn't work out how we thought it was going to be. If we get what we want in the present, we're happy, we're joyful, we're excited. When someone prevents you from getting what you want, you are angry. And then when you think about the future, and you think you might not get what you want, the result is anxiousness, fear. And when you go through this and desires begin to become your single motivator, you begin to become driven by desire, it's only a matter of time before you break down, because you can't take that kind of living. You get more money, you get more fame, more power, but no matter how much you have, the desire just keeps on wanting more. And keeps on taking your emotions and your soul for a spin through that roller coaster. Because here's the thing, have you ever noticed that desire is infinite? Desire is infinite. The wisdom of Solomon, who Scripture considers the wisest man who ever lived, other than Jesus, says this, Ecclesiastes 1:8, all things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. What is he saying? The more I get in life, the more I want. The more I see, hear, taste, I just want more. But more doesn't bring me satisfaction. Or as one prophetic voice once said, I can't get no satisfaction. John D. Rockefeller was considered, maybe before Elon Musk, the richest man who ever lived. at least in modern times, was once asked, "How much is enough?" And his response was, "Just a little bit more." You can have it all and you still feel like, I don't have enough. Desire is like a carrot on a stick. When we're driven by desire, it leads to breakdown. Why? Because we are finite, but desire is infinite. So the result is restlessness. And I don't know about you, I don't know where you're at on your life cycle, but as you get older, you find out how much you've been driven by desires when you start to freak out, realizing you don't have enough time left on earth to do all the things that you thought you wanted to do. Because desire is infinite, but you are finite. And so it creates this restlessness within you. Desire grows and is infinite, and it leaves us in a constant state of being dissatisfied if it is our driving force. In our modern age, there are many great opportunities for success, to elevate our life, to get ahead, but there are also many obstacles that are leading towards our demise. Even as our economy has grown and there are many opportunities for us and we're wealthier than we've ever been, yet all of a sudden we look and the data shows us that we're more anxious than we've ever been. Obesity is at an all-time high. Depression at an all-time high. We're more medicated than we've ever been. Suicide is at an all-time high. We have more than we've ever had, and we're less satisfied than we've ever been. Do you know that the most satisfied you'll ever be with that purchase that you make is the moment you hit buy, the moment you take it to the front of the counter, the moment you click add to my cart on Amazon? That is the moment that it brings you the greatest joy. From that point on, psychologists say it's all down here from there. Do you know that? So you might as well just hit the return button. You've already got all the joy you're going to get out of it. Our society is so complex and fast-paced. People work so hard to keep up, keep running, keep striving, but it leads us to dissatisfaction. And we get disillusioned, and then we divert to distraction and different vices to numb that pain of desire that keeps gnawing at us. And the media comes to prey upon the fear and anxiety. And that includes our favorite YouTubers often, or Reddit threads that we follow. People have learned that fear sells, fear gets clicks and engagement. Our entire media and digital culture profits off of worry and fear. If it bleeds, it reads. Marketers sell desire. You see over 5,000 advertisements a day. You should have this life. You should have that. You should buy this house. You should go on that vacation. You should wear these clothes. You should look like this, tuck that in, cut that out. You'll look good, you'll be satisfied. And yet we're in a constant state of dissatisfaction, which leads to breakdown. We constantly sacrifice the present moment for a false concept of a fulfilled future. Is that going to be the mantra of our life? That peace is somewhere out there, somewhere in the future. If I could just get that relationship or that job, or if I could just get that thing that's in front of me, then I'll be fulfilled. But how many know peace isn't found in the future? It's not found in a fantasy. It's found in the present. How many know you can be somewhere and not really be there? You can be somewhere but also be checking out ESPN. How did the Knicks play last night? They played very well. 11 games in a row or something crazy. 9. Peace isn't found somewhere else. Peace is found in the present. It's found in the moment. It's found right here, right now. Are you restless? Are you weary? Are you anxious? Are you depressed? Are you struggling? Desire is infinite. So anything less than God leaves us dissatisfied. You were meant to live with God forever, and that's why you find yourself restless and dissatisfied. Jesus says, take all your desire and put it on him, because desire is infinite, but so is God. Therefore, God is the only solution. Our infinite desire can only be satisfied by an infinite God. And these are not my words. In 300 AD, St. Augustine said this: "You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our hearts are restless until it rests in you." We're going to talk about practices that lead to restfulness and peace in our series, our teaching collection, but the foundation of our peace and our satisfaction and fulfillment is always not in a place, not in a person, not in a thing, not even in a practice. It's in one person. His name is Jesus. Jesus comes in Matthew chapter 11 and speaks to the restless soul, saying, "Come to me, all who are weary. Take my yoke upon you. My yoke is easy. My burden is light. Learn from me, and you'll find rest for your soul." Jesus is seeking those who are like, "Man, I've already gotten some achievements, and it's not enough. I got the girl or the guy to like me, and it wasn't enough. I got the job. I got the house, started a family, and yet I still haven't found what I'm looking for." Jesus says, "Come to me." Jesus is looking for the weary soul. He's looking for the restless soul. He's come for the restless soul. If you're here today and that's you, you're like, "I'm ready to throw in the towel. I'm done. I'm weary. I'm restless. I don't know if I can do this anymore." Jesus says, "That's what I've come for. I'm here for you." Jesus is not afraid of those who are weary and restless and doubting and ready to throw in the towel. He's saying, I'm inviting you to come to me. That's our first invitation today, is to come to Christ. Anyone who thinks Christianity is just about positive thinking and self-help jargon obviously hasn't read the words of Jesus. Jesus doesn't ignore your hurts and your hang-ups, but instead he invites you to find freedom from your hurts and your hang-ups by coming to him. We love hosting people at our house. Jen and I, we are both high in the gift of hospitality. We just love having people around, and it's just a lot of fun. But how many know this? No matter how good the party is, it's really not a party until people show up. It requires people there. They make the party a party. And so you can have something prepared, but someone has to show up. Someone has to come. Someone has to respond to the invitation. RSVP. That's what Jesus is inviting us into. Would you come to me? Receive rest for your soul. Come to me, and you will find rest. I invited my barber once to church, and he said, "You don't want me there." Not because there's anything wrong with barbers. All right, Christian. He said, "You don't want me there. The building will light on fire when I walk in. I'm not the kind of person who should be in church," he said. "If you only knew the things I've done, what I want to do, what I desire to do, what I will do in the future, you would not invite me to your church." But Jesus says, "Yes, I would. Come to me." The broken thinking that we often fall into is, I've got to clean myself up. I've got to quit smoking, quit drinking, quit sleeping with my girlfriend, quit looking at that, quit doing that thing. Then I'll be worthy of coming to Jesus. But Jesus says, you've got your order out of order. Come to me just as you are with your weariness. Come to me just as you are with, when you're ready to quit. Come to me. The thing about coming to Jesus is that oftentimes we'll come to Jesus, but we won't bring everything we are to him. Some of us, we're here right now in the room, but we're not fully here. There are parts of your life that you've left outside this door. There are certain parts of you, certain doubts, certain fears, certain thoughts that you think Jesus wants nothing to do with, so you've left them outside. You've left them outside of your faith journey. You left them outside of your conversation with Jesus. And therefore, Jesus is unable to bring rest to that part of your soul. Jesus, when he invites us to come to him, he says, "Come to me with all that you are." Yes, he changes us. Yes, he transforms us, but it requires a full bringing of ourselves to him. All of our weakness, all of our failures, all of our doubts, all of our fears. He says, "Come to me." We respond, he repairs. We respond, he repairs. But we have to get real. If you never go to see the doctor, you'll never get a diagnosis and you'll never get a treatment. If you never come to Jesus, he's gentle. He's gentle. He's not embarrassed by you. He's excited for you. Come to me and I will give you rest. He's not focusing on your mistakes, on your failures. He says, come to me. I'm focusing on giving you rest, renewal, restoration. Come to me and you'll find real purpose, real satisfaction, real rest. How many know Jesus is not offering like a nap? Although naps are good. I like taking a nap. But he's not offering a vacation. He's offering something different than a pay raise or a Netflix binge or a doom scroll session. Or he's offering a rest that you couldn't find if you vacationed the whole world from sea to shining sea. Jesus is offering your soul rest. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened. I will give you rest. How? Take my yoke upon you. Wait, what? Actually, sit with that for a moment. It's a beautiful passage, it's poetic, but the turn of phrase is actually kind of alarming. Because Jesus just said rest, and then he said yoke. Huh? Take his work upon you. Huh? That's an invitation to rest. Jesus has this fun way of always stretching us by bringing two opposite pictures together to form a complete and balanced theology. The yoke is a wooden object put on two animals. The two animals then, with this object around their neck or around their sides, would hold them together so they could walk in tandem. So that instead of walking two separate directions, they would always walk together. What is Jesus offering to us? To walk with him, to walk in tandem with him, to walk alongside him. What is the work of God that leads to soul rest? John 6:29 says, this is the work of God, that you believe in whom he has sent. How many know this? The primary work of a believer is to believe in Jesus, but not just that he exists or that he loves you and that he gave his life for you. It's actually to believe that you can trust him with your life, that you can walk with him, that he, if you're walking with him, is going to bring about true satisfaction and fulfillment rather than walking on your own way. That's what taking his yoke upon you means. Walking alongside him. Walking with him, abiding with him. John 15:4 says, abide in me. Be with me. Our work is to believe that and trust our life with him and to walk abiding with him. Jesus says, if you abide in me and my word abides in you, then you're my disciples. Then you're walking with me and you'll obey my word. So the result of believing and abiding is obeying. There's so many times we get it backwards. We think, I just got to obey. No, you have to abide, and obeying comes out of abiding. It's the natural fruit that flows from a life of abiding in him. And that's why it's so important to be here on Sunday with the community of God, to be a part of a community group, to have a rhythm of prayer and scripture. It's a rhythm of abiding with Jesus, to set time aside in your week for rest. Why? So you can abide in him. And it's out of that place that fruitfulness comes. The cross of Jesus was a great exchange of yokes. We take our yoke of shame and condemnation and guilt, and he gives us a new yoke, a yoke of his work of grace for us, that we get to live in, believe, and abide. Maybe you're here today and you're like, that's me. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I still feel restless and uneasy and worried all the time. Jesus says, exchange that yoke, exchange that pressure. Maybe you're here and there's pressure and yokes placed upon you from maybe a parental figure that had the best intentions in mind, maybe a leader or authority figure in your life growing up. They said, this is what it means to be successful. This is what it means to live a fruitful life. And it's been this weight, that's this yoke that's determined your decisions and dictated the outcome of your life. And it's left you in a place of disillusionment. It's left you in a place of despair because it's like, it's never enough. Jesus says, exchange that yoke for my yoke that's already enough for you. I've already done it all for you. Come to me. All who are weary and burdened, I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. Number 3, Jesus invites us to learn from him. To learn from him. You know, Jesus lived not just to come as some figure of sacrifice for us. He actually came incarnationally to embody what true flourishing humanity looks like. So as followers of Jesus, that means we're supposed to follow his teaching and his example. Did you know that? That's what a disciple is, an apprentice of Jesus, someone who follows his teaching and example. So we learn from Jesus. We learn something interesting about Jesus is that Jesus was never in a hurry. You know, if your mission in life was to, quote, save the whole world, wouldn't you be in a hurry? If you believed, as Jesus believed, that I'm here to save humanity, you'd probably be in a hurry. Jesus was never in a hurry. He never sprinted, as far as we know. He never showed up on horseback. Yeah, come on, let's go, guys. When he was pressed, when he was pushed and pulled and pressured to be in a hurry, he never gave in. Why? He understood something. When you are restless, you react. When you're not present, you react. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that people pay the price for your own restlessness? Someone on the freeway, someone in line, someone in your home. But when we're rested, we respond with love and grace. So Jesus says in the Message paraphrase, Eugene puts it this way at the end here, keep company with me and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. Here's the thing about following Jesus that we have to understand. Most of what Jesus asks us to do is to not add more things to our life, but actually what Jesus invites us to do is to actually strip some things away. Strip some things away, some unnecessary burdens, some unnecessary things that have been placed on us by our world, our life. And so one of the things I want to share with you, one of the rhythms that Jesus had for rest was the rhythm of Sabbath. And you might think Sabbath is one more thing I have to do, but it's actually a stripping away of the things that you think you have to do to rest. Sabbath is not a day off. Sabbath, Shabbat, the actual translation, what it literally means is to stop. That's what it means. That's the translation. Stop. Someone say stop. To stop. Stop. Some of you heard the word Sabbath and you're like, oh, this is just Old Testament stuff. But if you examine the life of Jesus and his disciples, you see that they still practice Sabbath, not as a religious ritual, but as a rhythm of renewal. In fact, all throughout church history, the church has adhered to Sabbathing, usually on Sundays. We call it the Lord's Day. In our culture, in the United States, up until the 1930s, there were no sports played on Sundays. Restaurants were closed, stores shut down. Everyone was resting because it was the Lord's Day or Sabbath, Sunday. It was a day to stop. And yet somehow, in the last 60 years or so, the church and our culture got pulled into a rhythm of more doing, more getting, more consuming, more entertainment. And we've forgotten to stop. We have no stop. It's always go, 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 go. Sabbath is a day of the week to stop and to bask in the love of God, what he has given us, rather than thinking I need more. Rather than spending every waking moment striving for something more. God's love is the antidote for that fear and anxiety that's been driving you. Jesus is already enough. You already have everything you need. Choosing to take some time out of your week and your day even to stop is one of the best practices to teach your mind, your body, and your soul to abide in Christ. It's a way of saying to God, I'm trusting you with my 6 days rather than trusting myself with 7. And by the way, Sabbath is not something that came in the Levitical law. It was actually established in the rhythm of the 7 days of creation. 7 days of creation. The 6th day, mankind is created. And the 7th day, God rests. By the way, if God chose to rest, why do I think, who I've been made in the image of God, that I can get through life without resting? If God thought rest was important, why do I think rest is unimportant? Now we know God was not tired, but he was showing us what rhythm of life looks like. Now get this, mankind was created on the 6th day. The 7th day was the day of rest. So mankind's first day on earth was a day of rest. So many of us think that rest is the reward for our work. But Scripture teaches that work comes out of a place of rest and abiding in God. That actually, when we rest and abide in him, our work is fruitful. Our work brings life and flourishing to the world around us. When we just rest because we've worked so hard, our work itself is in vain oftentimes because it comes from a place of anxiety and worry and self-reliance. But when we come from a place of rest and abiding in him, our work flourishes. It's also a testament to the good news right there in Genesis chapter 1, because we know that everything we need is already created for us. It's already been provided for us, and we can rest in the finished work of Christ. There's nothing else more needed. You don't have to do anything else. You simply receive the work of Christ. It's already done. You start from a place of peace, and then you begin your work. You don't have to get it. Jesus has already got it for you. Come to me, and you will find rest for your souls. Number 4, find true peace and fulfillment. The result is we'll find what we're looking for. You're not going to find it by marrying him or her or getting that job or going to that school or getting that dream vacation or finally getting in with that group of friends. You think it'll give you satisfaction, but those of us who've been around long enough, we know it doesn't bring what we thought it would. What you've been looking for is Jesus. What you've been looking for is soul rest. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 9 says, there remains then a Sabbath rest for the people of God. For anyone who enters God's rest also rests from their works, just as God did from his. Let us therefore make every effort to enter that rest. There is something we have to do. We have to make an effort. It's not an earning. We're not earning something. We're not gaining something. We're not trying to achieve something. We're simply intentionally doing something to enter rest with Jesus, because real rest requires intentionality. It requires steps that we take to enter into rest with him. Some of us aren't resting, not because we don't believe in it, but we haven't created margin for it. We've added so much to our life. We think we're Superman or Superwoman. We can just do everything. And the only time we rest is when we get sick, because our bodies start to break down. Because how many of you know this? You are not a human doing. You're a human being. So many believers, they believe things like giving generously, but there's no margin for giving generously. They believe in rest, but there's no margin for rest. Why? Because our lives have been shaped by the culture around us instead of the culture of God's kingdom. Jesus is saying to us, let's strip some things away to create some margin for peace in your mind, your soul, and your body to enter into rest with God. Why did God establish rest for the people? In Exodus chapter 20, He says this, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. Out of the house of slavery. I don't have time, because we're out of time, to take you through every verse where they were constantly being told to work harder and work more and have no rest and meet more demands. But let me give you a couple here. Let's go to Exodus 5, verse 9. It says, let heavier work be laid on them. They will labor at it and pay no attention to deceptive words. Verse 14, why did you not finish the required quantity of bricks yesterday and today? Verse 17, you are lazy, lazy. That is why you say, let's go sacrifice to the Lord. Go now and work. This is what they were raised in. This is what they had lived in for 400 years. They were brought out of that place of slavery. And God says, I brought you out of slavery. So therefore, this is my command to you. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But on the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you nor your sons or daughters, nor your male nor female servants, nor your animals, nor your foreigners residing in your towns. For 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, but on the seventh day he rested. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. It says, Pharaoh and his gods, Egypt and their culture was a place of tireless, relentless work. No day of rest, no breaks in quota. They were always striving for more. But he says, the culture of my people, my first command as your new king is to say, you must rest. I wonder which culture we're living in mostly. Even as his people walk through a wilderness with scarce resources, he says, rest in me, and I will provide for you. Resting is an alternative to the endless demands of our society that will constantly ask you for more and discard you when you don't bring it. But God doesn't see us that way. He doesn't see us as producers. He sees us as beloved children. He doesn't abide by those rules. He's not a slave driver demanding you to perform or produce. He is the God of rest. Or as Matthew 12:8 says, the Son of Man is the Lord of the Sabbath. Let's stand together.